no juvenile, that is anyone between the ages of 10 up to 17, will either be committed to jail nor be fined under the penalties as set forth in the bill. Rather, they would be brought before the juvenile court, and the juvenile court could at that time declare the child delinquent and could impose probation or certain other penalty.
I feel quite certain that by some reason a major portion or major aspect of the bill was left out, and that's some protective feature for the child that's being involved. And this is what I'd like the board to address itself to. In section 1, I'd like for it to be amended so as to require each school district to do the following prior to the time it can be thrown into a court of law. Number 1, provide adequate counseling to the pupil involved or pupils involved, as well as the parents involved. Number 2, do a thorough psychological evaluation of the pupil who is so accused. And number 3, have a full psychiatric consultation of the pupil involved prior to presentation in court. I think we owe this to our young charges to make sure that we understand the etiology of whatever the offense was. I think the district should reinforce its posture as an advocate of the children rather than an adversary.
Is there a provision in this that would, for example, bring some sort of punitive action or make it possible to bring punitive action against a student who abuses another student, such as the recent case of Florence?
No, ma'am, there is not.
Mr. Smith, I'd like to point out to all of my board members concerned that it is the responsibility of the Board of Education, and it's one of our prime things that we always point out, to supply adequate counseling of all of our children. I'd hate to see us go back on that responsibility and ask the courts to do what we should be doing.
Well, on the suggestion of the child's attorney, on the district attorney's office, or on the judge's suggestion or probation officer, this child will be given a psychological examination before he ever goes to court. So I don't think it would be necessary to include in section 1 that a psychological be a prerequisite, because I think we would see to it ourselves.
But I think it would have a very salutary effect on the parents, primarily the parents too, and the child, to know that if you do this, the community has spoken that it will not permit it to be done. It is an antisocial act that will bring repercussions. Granted, it will not solve the problem, but I think it will go a long way toward restoring somewhat the authority that is now lacking to education, to our teachers, and I think it will stem the tide.
And finally, we're concerned about the possibility of the political effects of this. Many of us heard the president of a local political organization last night say that the school board campaign, the one priority issue would be protecting teachers and students. I'm wondering about the way this bill was introduced so rapidly and brought before you all in such a short period of time when it's such a far-reaching bill.